we wanted to take this opportunity to present some new plugins that we've been working on for the last couple of months, and they are regarding collaborations. Most of them, they are done, but they are still in development, so there are plugins. We're planning to release new versions of them. Yeah, we would like you to provide us as much feedback as you can, give us your feeling. How do you feel about it? Is it good enough? Do you want to improve something? As I said, we're still in the roadmap. We're still developing them, so it would be really nice for you, for us to provide us with your feedback and your feelings about it. So first of all, as we are going to talk about collaboration, I just wanted to go and make sure that we are on the same page about what the term collaboration means. Basically, according to Wikipedia, it's like when two people or two organizations, they try to meet together and they share a common goal. Maybe that goal is complex enough, it's something that is difficult to get just by one person, and it needs the collaboration, like the two persons working together, two organizations working together to get a common goal. And just to make sure, here you will find different names, different tags, different things that are related to collaboration, and most of them, they are really good, and we would like to have this in our projects, in our team, in our company. So collaboration is a way of sharing knowledge, of sharing goals, sharing experience, improve the quality, just distribute the knowledge among the team, allow the people to learn, give what you get back. And it's really nice to work in a project and be involved in this kind of statistics, activities, where people can collaborate each other. Now the question that you may have is, okay, and how does Liferay relate to this? What can Liferay do for me in terms of collaboration? So as we saw before, there are many different things that we are trying to get with collaboration, many different objectives and many different good things. And as you also probably know, I'm sure about it, is that Liferay is an open source product, and the community is really important for us. So we're always aiming to try to work in a collaborative way with the community to try to provide as much feedback and try to get all the products out there and try to fit the people needs. And actually, in order to meet those needs, a couple of years ago, we moved to Git. Before we were working with SVN, because actually Git is a much more collaborative platform and allows us to work in a more distributed way and just to have a better communication between us. So Liferay is really compromised in those terms, and it's really trying to improve all the collaboration efforts that we are doing, and we're trying to provide that effort to you guys. So we're going to present the 3 different plugins, and if I just present this signal, this symbol, so the first thing that comes to your head probably is Twitter, right? This is the most common way that you have in Twitter to mention somebody, to bring somebody attentions. So actually we're missing this kind of feature, because in Liferay there is no easy way that you can say, hey, get my attention, I need you here, can you take a look at this? I want to share this, and could you please provide me feedback about this? There was no easy way of doing it, so the only thing that we could do at that time is, okay, so I saw a blog entry, I really like it, it was nice, so then what I do is, okay, just copy the URL, open Outlook, Gmail, wherever, create a new email, just type the email address, say, hey, take a look at this. And then you just put the link, you send it, and you expect that people will read the email at some point, click the link, sorry, open the window, the page, and he'll see it, and then he will reply it back. But that's something that is not either intuitive or is not fast enough. So it's not actually improving the collaboration. It's not actually improving the collaborative work. So we're thinking about how can we improve this, or what can we do this? Because sometimes we need it, even in our Liferay, in our intranet, we have an expert forum when we're asking questions between support, engineering, QA, all the teams, they share all the knowledge there, they have the collaborative work at that point, and then there are many times that some people know that, I don't know, for example, Iván, that he's working on the Google Docs stuff, and then he has a question for him. But instead of just sending an email to him and just getting the knowledge only in that email, we want to spread that out. So we want to keep it in the message boards. And then we could say something like, hey, @Iván, can you please provide me this information? And then he could receive somehow a notification, or he could get the attention at that point, and he could go there and reply back. So that would be really nice. At some point, it's like you're just trying to get the attention. It's like you actually need something like the bat signal, right? It's like you need the attention at that point. So that's what we're aiming for. It's kind of like that. And I'm actually going to show you a video about how is it working. It's pretty simple. There are 2 different use cases. The first one, we are just logging in the Liferay portal, and the first use case is pretty easy. We go to the forums, and it has a very similar structure. Like we have all the messages, they are divided in different categories. And then Nate is just checking solutions architecture, and he said there is a thread out there. So he just try to read that, start reading the contents. Hey, yeah, I remember something about this, and yeah, actually there were 2 guys that they were working on this. So it's really easy. Just start typing, you just write the @ signal, the @ and at that point, we just show an autocomplete with a list of the users that they have a portal. So you can actually select it, and then you can see that it automatically converts that to a link. And that link is linked to the user's profile. So as soon as he hits publish, those 2 users will receive a notification saying, hey, Nate mentioned you in this message board. So you can actually go there. And those links are linked to the user's profile. So this is really useful, as I told you before, in these kind of cases where you have a message board where there are questions and you know that somebody knows the answer or somebody who can provide some useful information at that point. The other very useful scenario, too, is when you want to share something out there. Like you see that there is somebody, or not totally sharing the content, but maybe greeting somebody or just acknowledge somebody's work. So in this case, you're watching a blog entry, you see that this is really nice, and then you want just to congratulate the author. So it's again, you just type the @ symbol, autocomplete with the username, publish it, and at that point, that user will receive a notification, say, hey, somebody mentioned you. So you can go ahead and say, you're welcome. So that's fairly easy, but there are even more cool things out there. Is that all of this that I showed you, for CK editor, for comments, for blogs, you can also use that in all your applications. So it's not only for blogs, message boards, or comments, but it's also for your applications. And it's even better. You don't even need to do anything to just take all the advantage of it. So you just have your own plugin, you have your own portlet, you are using the comments framework that Liferay provides you, so you just need to deploy the mentions portlet, and then you're done. Automatically, you will be able to mention anybody out there in your portal just by typing @, and you don't need to modify anything on your plugin code. So how do we do it? How could it be that simple, or how could we benefit of that feature without doing anything in your own plugins? It's fairly easy. Basically, we just created a hook, and we were wrapping the message board service. And actually, we're wrapping the update status, so we're also considering the workflow. So in case that there is a workflow in process, and you ask a question in the message board, the person won't receive a notification until the message is already approved. It went through the whole workflow, and it's finally approved. So besides wrapping that service, we just are parsing the content, either the content of the comment or the content of the message, searching for @ plus username, and then the subscription sender takes care of the rest. He takes care of sending the email or sending the notification or just notifying the user. So you can benefit of all this in 6.2. But now we're even looking forward, and we're planning for 7.0. So we created a new section in control panel that is actually in portal settings, and it's called something like social interactions. So you can define there what kind of interactions can have different users, and there are different configurations. You can have interactions based on your social relation. Like if you are my friend, then I can comment, I can mention you. If we are in the same site, or anybody, like anybody can interact with anybody. And this is a framework that is actually kind of fairly easy to implement. And not only our applications, like in this case, you can see the mentions application, it has the default setting, but any other application can be integrated in that section and can benefit of all those services. So you just define it, and then your application will be using those configuration and those services, those features. Okay, so this is really nice. It's a way of getting the attention of somebody, like sharing the knowledge out there and just making things much easier than copying the URL, pasting it some mail, and just wait somebody to reply. But we're still missing something. It's like, okay, so I just sent the notification, I just type @ plus the username, but then I need to wait until the user reads the email that he gets, and then he can reply back. So it wasn't that fast. So if you look at Liferay portal as it is right now, there are three different mains, or the main three different ways of sharing the activities. That is, either you can subscribe by RSS to get updates about what is going on in the portal, what changes on the content are, The other option is you subscribe by email, so you receive email every time that we add a new blog entry or any time that somebody replies a message board. Or the last one is by the activity feed. You can just check the list of activities and then make sure that you are up to date with that. But we were missing something that it was more real time. Like, okay, I want to give something now, and I want the user to know it at that point. I don't want him to wait until he goes to his RSS reader or until he checks his email or until he goes and sees the activity feed. And then we came up with the idea of the notifications portlet. That probably you have already seen it. This is released, and you can use it in 6.2. And it's a really good way of just like letting the people know about something. Like you just have that in your dock bar. Every time that you receive a new notification, it pops and updates the number of like remaining notifications. You can click it, see what is the notification about, and you can actually click in a notification, and it will redirect you to that specific entry. So that was actually used by 3 different things, actually 2, like for content subscription. So you may subscribe to any content, and as soon as you got an update, the notification portlet will show you that update. About the workflow steps, so if you have a workflow in process and you got a task that is assigned to you, that will be pop up in the notifications portlet, so you can actually go and review that asset. And if you deploy the mentions portlet, you will also benefit of the same. Every time that somebody mentions you, it will show a pop-up in that notifications portlet, and it will say you, hey, this person mentioned you. So you can just click it, and you directly go to that comment, for example. But it's not only that. Like we saw that, I mean, it's a really good way of just like giving out like information to let the user know what is it about, like what things are out there, what are the new updates. But we weren't listening to those users. So this is like only a one-direction way of communicating. It's basically letting the people know about what is it going on. But then we were missing the other thing about what is coming back. So we evolved it, and now we created a new release, and actually we are even interacting more with the end user. So we created a new section that you can see down there that is called requests, and then besides letting the people know where are the different updates, where are the new notifications, where is the cool stuff, we can also interact with him. So he can decide if accept or cancel, like yes, no, those kind of operations, they can be very easy done, like they can be really easy implemented, and then they are very useful because the user doesn't need to click, go there, decide. He can just do that from the notifications portlet itself. So we're planning to implement this in many new portlets. Besides those features that I told you, we'll also have a powerful configuration out there. So when you click on the notifications portlet, you can also have this kind of setting. And actually, we let the user decide how he wants to receive the notification. Like, for example, anytime that I get mentioned in a blog entry, do I want to receive an email? Or do I want to receive a website notification? Or even more, do I want to receive a push notification in my mobile app? Because just we'll reach a point where you guys can implement like different mobile apps, like, for example, a blog entry reader. And then you can subscribe to the blogs from that mobile app. And as soon as somebody adds a new blog entry, that may pop up in your phone saying, hey, somebody added a new blog entry, you may go ahead and read it. And that user can configure how he wants to receive that notification based on those settings for the notifications portlet. So here you have a really quick video about how it works and how is it being implemented for notifications. So we have 2 different users. It's Bruno, then it's Sergio. So we're actually going to mention somebody, in this case in a message board like we did before. We're going to add a new question, and again, we're going to benefit of that like signal that we have, the @ symbol. And then as soon as that person is mentioned in this message, because he actually knows about something, besides receiving an email notification or an email address, he will also receive a website notification using the notifications portlet. So it's much easier to contact with that person. In this case, this is Sergio. So without doing anything, it automatically refreshes, and it receives the new notification. So then you can just click it there. You see that Bruno Faras mentioned you. Then you can just click it, and you're automatically redirected to that message board where you can interact with it. But there are even more. In this case, there is a new blog entry. You can click it, and then you are directly going to that blog entry. So it's a much more intuitive and faster way of keeping the communication and keeping the knowledge. And this is the historic, like the history of all the notifications that you got. You can still go for them, the request, and this is the configuration section that I was telling you about it before. And And again, this is not only for us, it's also for you. So it's available in your applications. It's not as easy as the other thing that you didn't guys need to do anything. In this case, we need to implement, but it's fairly easy. How can you do it? So you just go to library portlet.xml, and you need to create 2 new registries, 2 new entries. The first one is the user notification, that basically you just need to define what kind of notifications can be sent, either if they are email, website, or push, and just add the language keys there about when the user is going to receive the notification. And then the user handler, that is the one who's taking care of handling the logic about what is it going to be displayed in the notifications portlet, what is the link going to redirect to, and that kind of information. It's basically implement an interface, but it's fairly easy. Like, there are not too many methods out there. And besides this is for your portlet, where you are going to interact with the notifications portlet. You need to use the service, because you need to tell, hey, I want to deliver this notification. And you do it using the user notification event service. And as you see, there is a delivery type that it matches the 3 options that I told you, like either website, either email, or push. But you can even create your own application and have a different type of delivery. You can add your own, so it's fully customizable. All this is for 6.2. You can start using it right now, and we really appreciate your feedback about it. And like, if we look forward, if we look at 7.0, what are we planning to do? So we're planning to add more features here. For example, this is a really cool one that we actually got from a community member providing it. Say like, hey, okay, I'm subscribed to this category, but it's getting like a hot topic, and many people are asking, many people are replying, and I'm not really that interested in that topic, so I would like to mute it. Like, I don't want to listen to it anymore. I want to unsubscribe it. You can automatically do that from the notifications portlet. So we're trying to make it more powerful. We're trying to have that as the main center for like delivering notifications, deliveries, updates throughout the portal. Okay, so now Ivan is going to continue. He's going to present you the last plugin we have.
Okay, so hi everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm going to explain you the integration we've done in Liferay between Liferay and Google Docs. Okay, so we all know what Google Docs is. It's a powerful platform where you can collaborate and edit documents, presentations, spreadsheets from any place, any device, and it's also free, so everybody has an account normally. This is the benefits of this platform, but the problems that it has is that when you are in a corporate context, like in your company working on something, it's very easy to resort to this platform to just share something or collaborate in some document. But these documents then are spread out in several accounts, probably private people accounts, not company accounts, and you lose track of them. On the other side, we have Liferay with Document Library, which is also very powerful for categorizing or organizing all your documents, and you probably have it deployed in your intranet. So we thought, what can we do to have the best of both worlds? And we came to the conclusion that we need this integration. Okay, so let's see what we've done, how we have implemented this. This is implemented for Liferay 6.2, and it will also be available for Liferay 7. In 6.2, it's implemented by a hook. What we do is creating a specific document type when the hook is deployed, which is treated as a system document type, and it's used to add Google Docs to the document library. So you have your usual files in the document library, and in addition to them, you can have like kind of links to Google Docs, which are outside. Okay, Google metadata is stored in hidden DDM fields. The Google metadata is the URL of the document, the ID, and all data that is provided by Google API. And we don't show it to the user, but as it is stored in a DDM field, you can access it from Document Library API or from DDM API, so you can use it if you want to do something with it. Of course, the plugin is integrated with Trash and Asset Publisher and the rest of functionality. For version 7, instead of doing a hook, you all know that the problems with the hook, you have to overwrite JSPs, and if you get updates, they can fail. It's not so maintainable. So for version 7, And as part of the OSGI effort we are doing of modularizing the portal, we have created some Java interfaces which you can implement to change the document library user interface. So we use these interfaces to extend the document library and create the Google Documents plugin. If you are interested in seeing how this works, Carlos Sierra has a talk at 1540 on extending views, and I think he will be talking about this functionality of extending the view. For version 7, as we can do more things than with a hook, we have decided to implement or to use a metadata set instead of a document type. This way, you can have several document types, different document types with customized fields that you can define, but which are stored in Google Docs. And as in version 6.2, all this data is stored in DDM fields, so you can access it from the API. Deployment of the hook is, as any hook, you just put it in the deploy directory and it starts working. The best way to know if it has been deployed is to go to the add menu in document library and see if you have a Google Docs document type. If that appears, is that you have deployed the hook. Then we need to configure Google API. I'm not going to explain this because this is out of the scope of this presentation, but Google has good documentation on this configuration. You have to apply for an account and get an API key and a client ID and go to the console. And then you just put it in the portal, in portal settings, we're going to see it, and that makes it work. So I'm going to do a live demo, or at least try it.
Yeah, so we got some problems with the laptop, and we needed to change. Now, hopefully it may work. There may be a blinking, because for some reason Ivan's laptop is not working that well.
OK, so we have it here. OK, so I have a portal deployed in my computer. What I'm going to do now is to deploy this hook. So I put it in this directory. Now it's available for use. And as I said before, if we sign in now and go to the add menu, we have the Google Docs document type here. As I said, we treat this document type as a special type of document. And if you come here, you won't see it. This is to avoid people deleting it or modifying it or doing something wrong with it. So after deploying it, we go to Control Panel to configure the client ID and the API key. This is Google's console. Well, let's log in. OK, so here is the client ID and the API key. This just needs to be done once and for the whole portal, and it works. So now we're going to add a Google document. Okay, the interface is the same as you are used to it to upload documents, but this button has changed. So when I click select, I get the Google login screen telling me that I have to provide some rights to this application to be able to access my files. So I click on accept, and I get, this is rendered by Google. This is the file picker API of Google. And these are my documents in Google Drive. You can also access photos, upload a photo, even take some video with your web camera and upload. This is all provided by Google. So I'm going to load this presentation. Okay, click on publish, and here it is. So now, when I edit it, I can see the preview. This preview is provided by Google Docs too. So as you can see, you can have a look at the presentation. And then we change some buttons in the user interface. We have removed some buttons, and we have new ones like editing Google Docs, where you can click and jump directly to Google Docs. And we've run out of time, so I'll finish it here to leave some time for questions.
Thanks, guys. Does anyone have any questions?
Hi, I have actually two questions regarding the Google search. Is it searchable?
Searchable.
If you use Liferay search, do you actually also search then?
It is searchable by title, by all the fields you have in Liferay.
Yeah.
The title, and in versions 7, all DDM fields or tags or categorization, it's searchable, but not for the content of the Google.
No, okay, but it will show up in your search results.
Yeah.
And also for your asset publisher, if you use documents, then
sorry,
as an asset in an asset publisher.
You
have an asset publisher on your page.
In asset publisher, yeah.
Also
in asset publisher, in the trust, and.
Okay. Yeah, so by all means, this is a DL file entry, so you can always display in an asset publisher. Yeah. The only thing is that it's not actually like storing any document in your file system, but it's like creating kind of a link to Google Docs. And right now, regarding the search, we're only indexing the title, but we may improve it and then get the file from Google, and then we may try to index maybe the content or the description or some metadata that Google can provide us. But as it is right now, it's only indexing the title. So you can only search for title.
And my second part was regarding security. Does it inherit roles and permissions on documents? So if I search, I am a member of site A and I have permissions to search there, but a document with a title is in site B, will it show up? Will it have the same security role-based setup as normal DMS in Liferay?
So here are two levels of permission. One is the one that Google provides out of the box, and then that's not up to us, like that's up to the Google administrator, and the other one is up to Liferay. So you can set a permission for Liferay and then say, hey, nobody can see this document but me, and then nobody will see it in Liferay, but there may be some users that they can go to Google Drive and access that document. So they are like two separate permissions, and we are not like doing anything with Google's permission. We're just managing our own.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, we've just time for one quick question.
Hi. Is it possible to modify the metadata set? So to edit some more metadata on the documents? I see that currently all metadata are hidden.
Yep.
So people cannot tweak it. But is it possible if I really need 2 or 3 more metadata for documents in Google to add that? Or to have, I don't know, several sets of metadata? Thanks.
So for C.2, we didn't we implemented this way by not showing the metadata because we didn't want to have to override too many JSPs because of maintainability, because then it would make it harder to deliver it out there and then Fixpacks could maverick it or something. But for 7.0, we're doing it in a much more modular way, and then you could have a document type with its own metadata sets and even be a completely different document type. Because the document type, the Google information, in 6.2 is being stored in a specific document type, but in 7.0 is stored in a metadata set. So you may have a document type with many different metadata sets and become a Google Doc. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thanks, Sergio. Thanks, Iván.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.